Everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, you ready to go?
I'm waiting to see if it's showing up yet on
the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
Whatever those crazy kids say these days.
Yeah, whatever the people say these days.
Alright.
Oh, I just heard an echo.
I did too.
That's... Okay.
That was me turning up my volume on my phone.
Oh god, I was just having flashbacks to the echo we can never get rid of.
You mean the repeat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can start whenever, John.
Okay. I'm just going to count us in. You didn't do show notes?
The show notes are in the description.
But I can't see the description because I can't get the YouTube linked to the OBS because I don't have the phone that's attached to the account. So whenever I try to log in through OBS, it goes, okay, click yes on your phone. And I'm like, well, I'm not Adam.
Oh, I did get, I got that earlier today.
It's okay. We'll do it next time. Before the show next time, I'll have you do it. So then I'll just have you press it.
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of TFG Radio. Tonight, there is myself, Adam, as always. John on the Wheels of Steel.
Hello.
And Danny.
Hey.
And, with an extra hey. And no Tom this week, this episode. We'll do a count up next episode for everybody. Well, really for John and Tom. But I think Tom has once again taken the lead for not being on the show.
Place your bets, people. Place your bets.
Yeah. I keep on forgetting about the haiku, so I guess we're not going to do it this year, much to John's happiness. So we'll save it for next year.
Yeah, I'll hold my comments about your faulty accounting practices in terms of number of episodes.
That's next week or next episode.
I'll happily claim most missed episodes if there's no haiku.
So, well, it's been a tumultuous year on many levels this year. So it's kind of like falling by the wayside with the stuff I have to deal with right now. But thank everybody for joining us, whether it's on YouTube.
Look, man, nobody makes you go to Mexico a bunch of times.
On the podcast, I only went once.
And you went on a cruise
for like, but that was last year. Oh wait, I did go on a cruise.
I know.
Damn, dude.
I know your life better than you do. That's how busy you are. That's how much of a world traveler you are.
The only way I know how busy I am is when I look at my vacation allotment for this year, and it's almost empty.
Yeah.
So.
Almost on empty.
Yeah, I'm running on fumes right now. We still have a month to go. So since our last episode, right before Thanksgiving, we had the World Championship of Warhammer out in Atlanta, both for 40K, Age of Sigmar, Warcry. Danny, was there a Warcry one?
No, I think it was just Underworlds.
Oh, it was Underworlds and Kill Team. So
Warcry is not a thing.
It's the best game they have that they don't even really try to push. So, yeah, whatever.
The best game nobody plays.
Whatever.
So
not worried about it.
So basically, if you've been to a GW event, I believe it was roughly the same format, right? With the play X amount of games, then there's a pod, and then it goes into, except for this, it went into double elimination.
Yeah, something like that.
Which I personally am not a fan of, but that's just not for any reason in particular. I just don't like it.
You don't want to have to play more games if you make it.
Yeah. Well, there is that. Yeah.
I'm old. I don't want to have to play more games. This is nonsense. Just let me fail.
Well, I mean, part of it's also like having to beat people the same person 500 times.
Right.
There's that. I mean, it gives the loser bracket a chance, but it is and I mean, the winner bracket does get the benefit of only having to win once in the finals. So, but I kind of like all or nothing. But
Yeah,
that's just me. It's just a matter of taste, not really one's better than the other. So
that's fair.
But we did have Manny Chima winning
Cool.
the World Championship. John Lennon came in second
Okay.
with
Okay.
Chaos Space Marines.
All right. Okay.
And I think Boris, and I don't know how to say his last name, Mishchev,
I think that's it.
got best. I think it was best overall.
Cool. All right.
And since we're not a AOS or Kill Team podcast, or I don't even know if there is a Underworld podcast, we don't care about the rest of the stuff.
There's got to be.
Hey,
Because of the way the world works, there has to be.
We can be anything you want, Adam, if you believe in yourself and try hard.
One thing I've not been in a long time is a tryhard.
Fine. That's fine.
I mean, there were some issues at the event. A lot of it had to do with basically judge decisions and going back, and that's always a thing that comes up at every event. I feel, no matter how big or how small, of the issue of like, hey, we just discovered this rule was played wrong. Can we go back and change the results or something along those lines? It usually and it almost always happens after the round is over.
Yeah, right.
So, John, you have any? Why don't you take us through how you usually handle it when they come to you with it?
It really depends, but a lot of the times my answer is just no. You both, if you both turned in the score and you both agreed that the score was the score, I don't know what you want from me. Usually, is what I say.
What if it's before the round is paired? Does it just depend?
It does depend, but also like you have to think also through like if I'm there when they're deciding that it's incorrect, that's fine, because I can witness that there's no strong arming of any kind involved. I can witness that there's no nobody's trying to push the other person into it. There's no 4 or 5 friends standing around trying to tell the person that they should change the score too, right? Because that's happened. So if I witness the whole thing, I'm more open to changing it, but I'm generally against it. Period. Like, you put in the scores, you agreed to the scores. The scores are the scores. I don't know. Do better math next time. Write clearer. If you're keeping, if you're like, clear. I'll tell you right now. Most of the times people come to me with scores that are wrong, they're people who keep scores on dry erase stuff or paper.
Or they don't keep score at all.
Or they're not keeping. Well, yeah. If they're doing it in an app, I have rarely seen anybody come to me with the ITC Battles app and be like, "Hey, we need to change these scores." They almost always walk up to me with a piece of paper or one of the laminated sheets. "Hey, we need to change our scores."
Right. I think I've seen once where it was they both were using the app and still had different scores.
And that's fine. And then but see, they both have different scores, so that now requires somebody to adjudicate. Which, when that happened the one time, do you remember how we decided it?
Was that?
That was this is. It was a pure he said she said, and I was like, okay, well, we're gonna roll dice.
Yeah, that's what it was. Either that or double loss. I think that was their
options. That was their choice.
Because they're pretty heated.
Yeah,
passionate. They're passionate.
But also this is one of you didn't keep score correctly, probably.
Yeah,
and maybe you didn't keep score right on purpose. I don't know.
There's always that.
I have no idea. And so I didn't watch your entire game, and I can't come up at the very end and be like, yeah, let's walk through your entire game together.
In the 10 or 15 minutes we have left.
Yeah. Or 35 seconds, depending on how timely these people are.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard.
It's,
And I get they want their score to be accurate, but also you need to strive to make it accurate the first time.
yeah. I thought I don't remember where, but I thought there was a time where, or maybe it was a certain event that had the players initial each round, that they agreed what the score was.
That was before all these apps.
Before ITC?
It was not.
it was before the Battles app.
Yeah, it was before, and it was before. Well, it wasn't before ITC. It was before the.
It wasn't.
It was
but
before.
I remember.
It was before BCP.
Yeah.
It was one. I think it was one of the Bay Area Opens.
Then that's where it was, where you had to initial what that you agreed with the score.
Yes. Yeah, and you both had to walk your score up too. Like you both had to walk up to Frankie and hand him your scores.
That's right. We should probably bring that back, or at least initial each round. In pen.
You had to put a pin
I
in to
don't
put
know.
the
That's
score
like
in.
logistically
The players put a pin in. That is doing it. And now they've taken the pin away, I guess. But like that was how it was. Well, did you put your pin in? Then yes.
Yeah.
I mean, my first question is always going to be: are you telling me that the score was put in like that you both agreed that the score was one thing and you submitted another one? Yes. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. I mean, in most cases, usually it's a score. They enter the scores in wrong. They agree what the points were. It's just the scores was flipped. That happens a lot.
That's not a problem. The problem is when somebody goes, we went back through the game and decided that I won, and I'm like, oh, you went back through an entire game,
or I went back through the entire.
Yeah, or I went through the back. Because the other thing is, these are 3-hour games.
Yeah.
And it's always a game that goes like the distance. And they're like, yeah, no, in round 1 I should have gotten an extra one of these. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah. I've had people email me after the tournament about the score changing, and I'm just like, I can't. It's like, it's way too late.
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty, because one time it was like them saying, "Oh, I should have lost." I'm like, it's not going to matter at this point.
I've had that with LVO. I'm like, dude, it's 3 days later.
Yes.
I don't know what you want from me, guy.
They have a guilty conscience, or they felt they were robbed. Either. It's the passion.
I've never had the guilty conscience one. I've always had the I was slighted one.
Oh, I've gotten both. I've gotten both. But that's my new phrase: is they're just passionate. I picked up that while refereeing soccer with the parents. They're just passionate.
They're passionate.
Some more passionate than others.
Sure. It was passionate when I ran my car into that guy 5 times.
Yeah.
5 times. Danny, he ran into your hood 5 times. Okay.
Right.
That's damn right. It was assault on my vehicle. It was destruction of property.
I love that line from the opening number in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yep. He ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 5 times or 10 times or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so other than that, I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary that I could see. They did have the GW did do their meta watch afterwards, and according to GW data, and this is why there's a reason I have the caveat. Except for Eldar and Dark Eldar, most of the armies are within that 10-point range that we would like, that 45 to 55 win rate range.
Cool.
Eldar's, I think, close to 60, and Dark Eldar is more closer to 40.
All right.
So it's literally 2 ends of the spectrum. If you ever,
so you're saying I shouldn't buy that Dark Eldar army for super cheap on eBay right now?
No, you should for when they make the adjustment.
Oh. Smart.
There you go.
Smart. My boy's wicked smart.
Now, according to Stat Check, it's a little more. There's a couple more armies a little higher up, like Chaos Space Marines. For some reason, has like a 50. Is that like 55%?
See, that makes me question their math.
Whose math?
Anybody's math who says Chaos Space Marines are good.
Well, John Lennon almost won it, so
Okay, but I would trust people's math more if they did not put Art of War players in the equation.
well, there's also a different way that each that GW and StatCheck collects their data.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, there's
So
methodologies to stuff. It's okay.
StatCheck is mainly large tournaments. 25 minimum to like 25 people. It's all small GTs to large GTs.
Yeah. I think
GW
a lot of people don't understand that about
Yeah.
things, is that like there are different ways to gather data. There's
Right.
different methodologies, and it is okay to use different methodologies. Like, there's not any one that's set, and like they often, where they argue about this, and I'm embarrassed I know this. They argue about it on Reddit.
Of course they do. About which one's better?
Just about the methodology of the statistics in general. I've seen that.
Oh.
And it's always like, hey guys, here's a link to this article. And and instead of like it being like a good discussion about what's going on, it's always like, oh, but you can't believe anything this says because blah 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 blah. And then it's like 83,000 comments about statistical methodology from people who I don't trust. Because it's Reddit.
True.
But I digress.
Yeah, but GW takes into account more of like RTTs and things of that nature, the smaller stuff. So, which it does include a lot. So that includes a lot more games, but it also includes a lot more incomplete games, I think, compared to. And then StatCheck also takes into consideration how many people are playing certain armies and what types of players are playing those armies.
Right.
So, like you said, they take Art of War players into consideration when ranking, determining the rankings for the armies. But the breakdown's a lot similar. They're not too different. They're not wildly different. It's just a slight difference, and it's not. And so we're seeing a lot of the same numbers coming up, just slightly different. But again, it's a different, like you said, it's a different pool of resources in terms of where they're getting their games from, and but each one is seeming to show that it's becoming a bit more balanced. So I'm curious what the next balanced data slate will be.
Okay.
And what they'll and also what we'll see with Necrons and Ad Mech, because they release this Saturday.
Okay.
So, but speaking of which, we do have the previews, which I just remembered. I don't remember. The thing is, I don't remember the preview.
I don't either.
I know they showed the assault marines for Horus Heresy, which are basically Mark 6 assault marines.
Yeah. I used to be excited about those when I could still use them for 40K.
Well, you can use the assault. Well, shoot, yeah, you can.
No.
God damn it.
So, like I was saying, I used to be excited about the Horus Heresy reveals when I could use that stuff for 40K. I'm no longer excited about that stuff.
I still can't believe they made that business decision of, hey, here's this really expensive product line we clearly put a lot of time and money and investment into. Let's completely remove it from our dominant product line.
Correct.
That'll do good.
That'll teach them.
Maybe it's purely a production issue. Hey, we literally can't produce enough of this stuff.
It could be, especially since they combined Forge World with Games Workshop.
Right.
And they combined the website, and man, that website is something.
It's not fun. It's not fun to navigate at all. I tried it on a mobile. I did some Necron pre-order, and I was like, man, this is not fun to navigate in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they did it. I don't know if they did it just for change sake. Or...
The old website worked, and was anybody complaining about it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, this whole thing reeks of brand redefinement and realignment and a lot of like bad corporate speak of just like, we need to update this, we need modern, we need, we need to get rid of the Games Workshop vibe and bring in Warhammer. That's what we are.
Yeah,
And it's
because
like,
they changed the website.
yeah, so it's like, cool, except you've hired people who only care about aping kind of common tech aesthetics as opposed to making like a functional website that's easy to navigate and facilitates what you want, which is people buying stuff.
I guess that makes
Right.
sense. Interesting. I did not think about it from that perspective.
I wasn't too. In all honesty, I wasn't too impressed by the reveals. I mean, they showed Necrons, they showed
Giga Chad. Giga Chad Ghoul is amazing, but that's for AOS. Yeah. But I digress.
It's because there's nothing. There's nothing to the Necron release.
It's just the characters.
Some characters and the book. Cool.
It. And I think Ad Mech only got the stilt guy.
Yeah, it's a couple characters, the book, and oh, by the way, we removed a bunch of characters you guys liked.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, thanks, guys.
Someone needs to do the video of those models like turning and having the "Don't you forget about
yeah, right. Like I said,
the new Deathwing.
I've never been happier that I just sell armies when I'm done with them, because then I don't have to worry. Oh man, they got rid of my favorite army. Nope, sure didn't.
New Deathwing Terminators.
Yeah.
Another. Oh crap! The Flesh Eater Court. So I guess a new Flesh Eater Court. Don't they have like 10 Flesh Eater Court armies now?
No, Flesh Eater Courts are like one of the least developed lines that in AOS. So this is like all the the FEC players in AOS are very excited because they get the Giga Chad Ghoul. They get some new knights. They get like a new medium infantry, or at least better than chaff infantry Ghoul. A couple new characters, so they actually get a pretty decent expansion to their range.
I thought they got like a book last year.
Vampire Counts did, or what became Soul Blight Grave Lords, or whatever they call them.
Okay,
Soul Blight Grave Chads.
Underworld stuff, nobody cares. The Soul Marines, nobody can use. I kind of like the police vehicle for Necromunda. Necromunda has like cool vehicles, but I don't want to play Necromunda. I just want the vehicles.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they have that police buggy. It almost reminds me kind of like the cop cars I saw in Mexico.
They didn't have the new Cybertruck thingy in Mexico for their cops?
No. Cybertruck.
They didn't have the new...
oh my god.
What are they called? The Halo buggies or whatever?
Oh, the Warthogs?
Yeah, they look like Warthogs kind
of. Oh yeah, it does kind of look. I guess you can I guess the cop cars in Mexico, you can like a poor man's Warthog, I guess. But also the squat vehicle, I forget what it's called. It looks pretty cool.
What squad vehicle?
There's it came out. They teased it a couple weeks ago. I forget what it's called.
They finally come out with a land train.
Oh, it may as well. The
only for Necromunda though.
Yeah, it's only for Necromunda. Yeah. Even though they at one point said that it was going to be for regular Votan, but maybe that's when they get their next release. So interesting enough, they're coming out with a kill team for Night Lords.
Okay.
And it's essentially this, CSM kit with basically Night Lord bits. For the most part. I mean, there's some special Night Lord specific models you can tell, but it's interesting that they made a kit just Legion specific. That's not one of the big. Didn't
they do that with 3. Thousands? Oh, you're saying not one of the ones that's like got
that have their own codex. They don't. Night Lords don't have their own codex.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Right. I see what you're saying.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do that with all the Legions.
No, I think they're going to do that with like not the big four. So, for people who are like, oh man, I really love, Iron Warriors, it's like, cool, you'll get an Iron Warriors kill team or something like
that's
that.
what I
What
just
the
said.
hell would be an Iron
Oh,
Warriors
I thought you
kill
meant
team?
like they're going to do everybody.
What do you get in an Iron Warriors kill team? A Failcast Warpsmith? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, if they just make boxes like this one for kill team, they can easily just make because you already have the generic one, which is basic. You can argue is like Black Legion, maybe Word Bearers. Well, let's say Black Legion, and you already have the other three, so you already have half the Traitor Legions. You're already halfway there. And so I don't see why not. And it's just one box that they'll never have in stock, so it'll be fine.
I shall continue to whom you.
So I thought the Night Lords was an interesting choice. Maybe it's a correct choice for like a kill team because of the way they operate.
I guess.
And
So
then
they'll definitely do Alpha Legions. What you're saying?
Yes.
Got it.
The last thing was the dragon, the bone dragon. For
Old World, yeah.
Old World, which I find interesting because at first I didn't think it was a dragon. Maybe because of the way it's hard to see the wings and the skull is a little not dragon-like anyway, that I'm used to anyway.
That's been a common kind of critique of it. It's a little more like it wants to be a little more crocodilian than than pure dragon. But I think it looks.
People aren't
a
fan of the old crocodile.
Yeah, I guess not.
I already told Danny I would play Tomb Kings for Old World for him.
For the crocodile?
Yeah, and may as well. So.
Sure, why not?
My Bretonians are waiting.
I don't think you have enough. I think you're going to need more stuff, though, Danny.
I have 60 knights. That should be enough.
60?
60, 60. Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, he got it for a good price, too. Painted.
Painted knights. That's going to be the hardest part is if I get a few like upgrade characters to throw in. If like, man, I'm really going to have to paint my ass off to make sure they look good.
Well, I think because you don't have any characters.
Just a couple, like minor characters.
You can just make one of those knights a character. I mean, they're all individually painted, basically.
Yeah, but it would be nice to get like the new plastic like knight on the Griffin or Pegasus or whatever. Like, but we'll see. I don't have any Pegasus knights. I have one character on a Pegasus. So I might need some Pegasus knights.
Even that, I think he's going to be tiny compared to the new ones. So that was the previews. Like I said, except for the dragon and the car from Necromunda, I don't know. I don't know if it's because we're getting previews like all the time at this point.
I think that's probably it.
Yeah. So.
And they're nothing. They're nothing great.
I mean, Fulgrim was a good preview.
Again, but you like.
But that's one every 6 months, I guess.
Who's playing Horus Heresy?
They're out there, John.
And that Fulgrim would have been awesome.
I completely forgot that
it was 30K Fulgrim. I did too. I forgot until Adam said it.
No, I forgot that they even released a PDF so you could play Runestorm Demons and like Ka'Banda as like an actual force. And it's just all generic. Like these are lesser demons, and depending how you equip them, that's what makes them bloodletters or whatever. It's just like, wow, this is low effort, guys. This is really fucking low effort.
It reminds me of, I think it was 5th edition Chaos Codex, where the demons were like generic, like demons. They weren't even like any flavor.
You could get lesser or greater demons, and that was it.
Yeah, and you had to play the demon codex to get the bloodletters, plague bearers, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that was before they were allies, so you never could do it with the Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, it was either 4th or 5th.
It was
I
5th.
remember that, and I was very disappointed.
5th.
It made me sad.
Made a lot of people sad, I think.
So we briefly mentioned Ad Mech and Necrons. They come out this weekend. With Necrons, at least, there's been a few rumblings as to some of the detachment that looks good. Unfortunately, nothing has been said about Ad Mech that I've seen. So I don't know if you, Danny, or John have heard anything.
Nope.
For Ad Mech, anyway.
Ad Mech or Cult Mechanicus? Are they still the same thing? Are they different things? I don't know.
But I know Necrons, there's the one where you need a monolith, because apparently a bunch of stratagems depend on the monolith.
Yeah.
And there's one detachment.
You mean they wrote into the codex an entire detachment that's linchpinned around a unit that has been sold out on their website for months?
I still have my 3rd edition monolith. That's like smaller than the current one.
I mean, seriously, does like the design team just go and look at what's sold out on the website and be like, hey, let's make everything sold out good?
Yeah. Maybe they secretly have a hand in the secondhand market on eBay or something.
Probably.
That'd be hilarious. There's that one, and then there's the one that gives them the same power as the Grey Knights, where they can teleport 3 units every turn.
Yeah.
Which can be really annoying. Well, it is with Grey Knights.
Yeah, the one character with the whatever the cloak thing is, and you can just like take it and Lich Guard and transport it across the table and be like, cool, I'm gonna charge you now.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I'm okay with this.
So I know, John, I think you're building painting the models right now until we get the book.
Yeah, I've got stuff sitting around, so Necrons will be my next thing, just cause.
All right, cool.
I'm kind of tired of Knights. And then I need something that's done up for when we go to the team tournament in Dallas or wherever we're going, in Vegas or...
Yeah, speaking of which, it's in Dallas.
It is, okay.
We are going to the Champions Cup. If you've been following Frontline, they did announce the Champions Cup at the beginning of November. I believe it's going to be up to 64 teams. I think there's still a few spots left. It's... Right now, anyway, it's going to be modeled after the WTC. And with the WTC, they do have like a captain's council, which determines the format and how they're going to play certain rules and things of that nature, and armies and that. So
I haven't heard anything about that. I'm a captain.
We'll get more.
I need a captain's hat.
Ah, God. I'll get you one for Christmas.
Ooh, I need a hat. I don't look good in hats. I don't actually want a hat. I look terrible in hats.
Which means you have to get one now. We can Photoshop one on you.
It'd be kind of fun to walk around with a hat on at the event where nobody knows me. Whatever.
So yeah. So we'll Danny, John, and I are participating along with a few other people for our club. So and that's in Dallas. It's the same place as Lone Star Open.
Not Tom.
Tom's not, as you can tell by him not being here today. Tom is not a team player. Therefore, he is not on the team.
I can't wait for him to listen to this tomorrow. Type into our chat. I hate you guys.
He has had plenty of opportunities. Yeah, even though we all play at his house now.
Yeah.
Every week. Tom's not a team player.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely not. My army's literally sitting in a cabinet at his house, but he's not a team player.
Me too. I have like 90% of my stuff there. So we look forward to that. That's not until next September.
Yeah.
And in October we'll still be having. I believe we're still doing SoCal Open, but that's still up in the air. So, but for now. We're focused on LVO and a bit on Cherokee also. So we'll see how things shake out with the Ad Mech and Necron books, especially as we approach LVO. Speaking of which, we can talk about that now. LVO is about a month and a half away.
What?
I know the people are chomping at the bit for the packet. The packet should be out early next week, but I know I sent in the schedule for the event. It's going to be similar to what it was this past LVO for 2023. Which means if you're going to get paint judged, you have basically 2 hours on Friday, but I changed up Saturday, so you only have an hour to get your army paint judged on Saturday morning from 8 to 9.
Cool.
8 to 8:45. So this year also we are doing the shadow round, but it's actually going to be a round of 16.
Right. It's not
so
if you are in, you're playing.
Yeah.
There's no getting out of it.
So it's no longer a shadow round. It'll actually count towards the points you receive for ADC.
Right.
And because we're doing the paint judging earlier, that means we can hopefully get out earlier. So the round of 16 should end by 11 p.m.
It's Vegas. People stay up. It's fine. They'll survive.
Yeah, but I got stuff. I want to do stuff.
Are
Danny
you going to be there for
stuff.
it? You're not just making Danny do the whole thing?
No, because now it's 16.
It's too big. Yeah.
It's 16 instead of just 8.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
There's just too many people to keep track of.
So there'll be about 3 or 4. But it also depends. And in all honesty, it depends who makes it. If most of the people that make it are pretty chill, then we really don't need too many people. But if there are people there that have a history of having issues or need babysitting, then we may need a few more people to help out. So that's a game time decision when it comes to how many we actually need. I know me, Danny, and Jeremy for sure. And then we'll see if we'll need 1 or 2 more. We only need them for like a few hours as the night goes on for that round, and as games finish, we can let people leave when they want. The other thing with LVO is if you are bringing a painted army and you haven't been to any of the events since ACO, Atlantic City Open, we have been doing a showcase for the paint judging, where if you make the top 10, we put out your armies on display and have everybody look at them, as well as the judges for the final cut. So make sure everybody, if you are going to get your army paint judged and you think you have a chance, make sure you take great care when painting your army and getting it ready with the display. So,
can I say one thing about that real quick?
Sure, Danny, because you're in charge.
Yeah. So I understand that, when you come to an event, you want your army paint judged. And I will just say, because of the logistics of having, 1,400 people, the reality is if you're going to come and you're going to get your army judged, you need to understand that you should understand what you're doing it for. You're either very confident in your abilities that you can place into the top 10, right? Like, you have to be very, very confident that, yes, you are a pro skill painter who could win a Slayer sword, or you are confident that you can go 6-0 or 5-1 or really 7-0 or 6-1 over the course of the weekend and have a very strongly painted army to win Red Man. If you're not in any way positive that you could achieve one of these two things, it's probably just better for everyone involved that you just don't worry about it. Right. Like, there's it's just, there's so many entries and we've got to judge and we've got to move fast, and I don't want to tell people, hey, it's not worth a shot, but just kind of be aware of the kind of level of competition you're going into and why you want it, because it's, again, it's a pretty ruthless field with a lot of amazing painters and players. So, it's just something to consider in terms of your time, the judges' time, everything else. But,
right.
Obviously, and please, if you don't make top 10 or you don't make Red Man and you get your score back and you don't like your score, please don't try and track us down while we're in the middle of the event doing it. Like, we're busy. If you want really detailed feedback, that's like something else entirely, right? And that's you need to ask people out of the grace of their heart to do that, because giving detailed feedback is very time consuming. And, some people are very happy to do it. Like Jacob is usually very happy to do it. But you also need to understand that, you're asking to dominate someone's time for 5 to 10 minutes. right? Like, and that can be a lot during the event itself.
Yeah, usually during a break or at the end of the day is probably the best time, even though we're usually tired. But and I know Jacob, who will be there from the Hobby Goblins, is more than happy to talk to anybody about painting, and paint judging and things like that. So, and it's hard. It's not. It's easy to find him. He's like the tallest guy in the room usually.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So just be aware of that. The dates for the cutoffs will be out soon, probably when the packet goes out. But real quick, if you have any issues, you can always send it to the same link we've been using for the whole year. That has not changed and will not change. We will have a new link for conversion approvals, although I haven't gotten too many right now. We'll see as we get closer. But again, we'll have those out with the packet as usual, and along with the cutoff dates and when the lists are due. For those of you that have not been to a large event like any of the FLG events, what happens is, and you've signed up for the champs. What happens is the event has not been created yet. We create it about 2 to 3 weeks out from the event, and about 2 weeks before the event, you will get a email from BCP, and that will have a code on it, and that code will allow you to register on BCP for the event. Once you are registered, you will be able to upload your list, before the due date. So, and if you have any questions or any problems, you can just email myself at headjudge@frontlinegaming.org, and I can help you get sorted out if you have any issues, especially if you didn't get a code. If you didn't get a code, you can contact Kicker or myself along with a copy of your receipt, and we'll get you sorted. It doesn't take very long.
Okay, just to be clear, should I post it on Reese's personal Facebook page that I did not get a code?
Oh my God. You can, but he'll probably block you. and then post a meme. Yeah, don't post on the try not to post on the Frontline community page, because it's not for that. You just email Kicker or myself, and we'll take care of it. Because if it's been less than 2 weeks before the event and you still haven't gotten a code, then there's an issue. So make sure you email us as soon as possible. I think that's it for now for LVO. I'm not sure which tables we'll have. We'll probably have a lot of the Sisters of Battle and the Urban Corruption tables, which if you've gone to any of our other events, you've seen those already. If you went to SoCal Open, you saw some of the GW terrain. Or it's the GW match play terrain or format or whatever they want to call it. Layout. There we go, layout. It's that same terrain pieces, but we used it for player place with some adjustments. I think they're still making adjustments on it, so once we have the packet out with the terrain rules, we'll have an idea. But I believe some of the tables will be there. We had 30 tables at SoCal Open. We should have more at LVO, but we'll still be using player place terrain, even though we have those tables out there. So and who knows after that? We'll see. Everything's always in flux.
Who knows what the future holds? Anybody got a crystal ball? Anybody got one of those 8-ball things you shake up?
I do.
Outlook looks good.
That's my other judge. That's my assistant judge.
Yeah. Hey, can I do this thing? Shake, shake, shake. Nope.
Unclear. Ask again later. Which, if you use any of those answers, are actually legitimate judge answers. Because, yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we all are. And there'll be a lot of people there. So, if you were at SoCal Open, you did see the little QR code we had on the business card to kind of help get a judge or let a judge know you needed someone. It seemed to work fairly well. We're going to try it at LVO and have radios in order to communicate over the noise Not everyone will have a radio, but about half the people will have a radio. So we might have to go with the buddy system when walking around.
A buddy system.
So, so we'll see how that goes. Like I said, it worked for SoCal, without the radios, but it was only like 200 players. So this one we're going to 1.5 times that, most like. No, it's not 10 times. It's way too much, but a lot more, like 8 times that many players. So hopefully we'll be able to get it to work. My brother volunteered to be the dispatcher. So we'll see. So yeah. So I think that's all for LVO for now. Other things in the news, we also have the pre-orders for Legions Imperialis for basically Epic 30K. Even though Danny's being stubborn and wants to play his Epic Tyranids as world leader.
Or whatever the rules. I have to look at the rules to even figure out what the hell I can make what I have.
You would probably have to go as Solar Auxilia just because of the amount of bodies.
I don't have that many. I don't have that much infantry. It's just more of tank or like beasts that count as tanks. So yeah, I guess I'm running a lot of Sicarans.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can play as a. I know from the previews that there's like an armored company detachment that's basically all tanks. So, we'll figure it out. And as far as I can tell, without seeing the rules, it doesn't look like there's anything like Legion specific just yet.
So salamanders don't get extra melted shots.
Well,
Salamanders, Space Marines.
This is just for, I guess, like the basic starter. They already mentioned in, I think it was the White Dwarf Battle Report, that there's already a supplement on the way, or there's a supplement in the works. So that one might be more Legion specific in terms of any special rules or things like that, because we all know from everybody playing Horus Heresy, because it's so popular, that each Legion has their own special units. So
yeah,
there's probably some type of flavor with special rules.
They each have their own special units you could never use in Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, you use the models as something else instead. I want Primarch models. That's what I want. But they're not. Apparently, from what I can tell, they're not in the new.
We got one. We got Fulgrim.
We got. I meant Epic.
We got Fulgrim. I mean, we can't use them for anything, but we got them.
You can just sit and look pretty on your mantelpiece.
That is not the thing I want to sit and look pretty on my mantelpiece. I'm gonna tell you.
I'll
tell you what.
He can be the new elf on the shelf.
I mean,
I can't think of a rhyme right now with Fulgrim.
I mean, with Fulgrim, he's going to be...
I was trying to. I'm like, it's not coming. I don't want to force it.
Somebody gives that model to me, he'll just be a bitch in a ditch, I'll tell you what.
Oh, my God. I think all of us read End of the Death. The End of the Death.
No.
God damn it, John.
Dude, I don't have any time right now for that. If I did, it'd be done. I read the other one in a day, remember? Or like a day and a half or something. I sped through it immediately. But
it's really good.
If I have the time, I do it. If I don't have the time, I can't.
Yeah, so I'm excited about Epic. So, unfortunately, my older Epic stuff's not the right scale. So, oh well. And like I said, Danny's looking to use his Epic Tyranids. They might be too small.
They're pretty tiny. Like, again, it's I'm gonna need to probably use like some Carnifexes for it to be like Warhounds or things like that.
No, that Carnifexes are really tiny.
No, I meant like actual 40K Carnifexes.
Oh, actual Carnifexes.
My Warhounds.
Maybe the second edition Carnifexes.
I have one or two of those. I'll have to
because
they're
smaller than the current Carnifex.
Yeah, I'll have to. Again, until I see like the actual models and can compare them to mine, I don't.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little tough.
I have some at they're at like with a lot of my other stuff. They're at Tim's house, But I do have Warhounds. I do have the Titans and Knights and Warhounds. Although the Knights aren't built, and I only have the regular Paladins. God damn it, Danny! Making all that noise.
Made all kinds of
Sorry. Forgot to mute as I was shaking up the paint pot. My bad.
Looking through whatever. What are you painting, Danny?
Oh, here, let me put the camera back on you. There you go. Wait, what
Painting
the heck
on the
is
gash for AOS.
Oh, Nagash.
Yeah. I've had him for so long. I'm like, I should probably finish him.
Is that the same CAD they use for the Necron Cetan?
I mean, this came out
Nagash
8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
Nagash
this
is one of the first
tall.
big models.
I'm sorry. Was the Necron Cetan used the same CAD as that?
I don't
Probably.
think so. No, is it that
Maybe.
big?
I always like to play the.
No,
Can you
he's
spot the
spindly.
CAD design? With
No, because the Satan ones are very basic in their pose, and they have like hardly any gribblies on them. It's just that light.
no, he's got all kinds of crap all over the place.
Yeah, but it's all lightning effect. It's not like spirits and whatever.
I guess that's true.
Gash.
Fine, just ruin my narrative. I'm just gonna
It's
end
almost
this.
like they just took a
Look,
3D
I'm just gonna
printed
take my ball and go home. I'm gonna end the stream right now.
Oh my God.
Okay? I'm just gonna end the stream right now.
Okay. There, ended.
Don't ruin my stuff.
So
I don't appreciate it.
all right. Well, so now I have to gather a lot more little men to make a force. So I think the one in the box only makes like less than 1,000 points. I think from what I've seen online. But we'll see. I know the Solar Auxilia is more like a horde army, so you get more bodies. Unless you go the armored company, armored detachment, which is basically like all tanks. Same with the Marines. The Marines have that option too, apparently. So I'm looking forward to it. I like the way it plays, in that it reminds me of the older first, second edition of Epic. So it seems like a lot of fun, and it's easy to paint. At least from what I can remember.
Yeah. It seems easy enough to paint.
So, well, especially if you're not going into like a lot of details.
You mean you're not gonna paint highlight lines?
No, I'm gonna base coat, airbrush, pick out guns and the obvious metal stuff. Maybe put a wash, and then done. So that should be enough to get by, if I'm not competing for it, since I'm not competing for anything in terms of like a prize or anything like that. So I believe I think that's it for this one.
Yeah,
I don't know if
probably.
there's anything else?
There's not too much going on.
No, I mean, like I said, WCW was an event. I mean, we can speculate on if they're going to do it next year, which I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? That wouldn't make any sense.
But I don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to keep it that same format of like the golden ticket.
One thing about the GW events is they're not afraid to like do different things.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've GW and this is what I like about GW as much as people like shit on them, is they're always willing to do something different, or at least give it a try.
Yeah.
And if they're if they're able to make it work, then everybody else copies it. Like they were one of the first ones to do the the starter, basically the army box. Buy this box that has the rules and 2 armies in it and go. As far as I can tell, they were the first ones to do that with Adeptus Titanicus back in '89, and now everyone does it.
Right.
Things like that. They're not afraid to try things and go different directions and things like that. And when it succeeds, people, flattery's what is it? Copying's the best form of flattery, imitation. So it happens a lot now. Some people may do it better, but I mean, GW did it first and basically gave everyone else the idea. Like Look at Epic. They came out with Epic, and now there's like 5 or 6 different companies that all of a sudden.
Yeah, within
hey,
a
we're
week
doing
there was
Epic.
like 83,000 Kickstarters for the Epic version of other miniature games, which already don't sell enough on their own to warrant an Epic line. Guys,
I know, Matt. And
guys,
I think, one of
get
them
your
that
regular game to sell first. Then kickstart your Epic.
There we go. Yeah, so it's I mean, the only one, there's only one, I think, Epic that's not GW, that I am looking forward to, and I think I talked to you about it, John, is the Dystopian Wars one.
But Dystopian Wars was already Epic scale.
Right, but they're relaunching it. That's what they called Armored Clash.
Yeah, but like the original company did it better.
Well, I think theirs was 10.
I'm just pining for the past over it. That was fine.
There we go, old man.
I wish I legitimately wish that naval game took off. I liked Dystopian Wars. I liked the concept. I liked the world. I liked the models.
They redid it. The new company that bought it reissued it, but I think it's not
Good.
I'd have to look at the rules, but it looks very different than what the original was. Like the original one was very based on historical empires.
Yes.
The new one, I think, gave them more copyrightable names.
Of course.
Kind of a GW move.
Right. Of course. But yeah, of course. But also the game just isn't as good. Like sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you buy an IP. Sometimes you buy the rights to something. And you shouldn't be like, hey, this game was popular, but the reason it failed wasn't because the rules sucked. The reason it failed was because the company didn't do well with other things. And you should be like, hey, let's not fix the thing that's not broken.
Or just clean it up a bit. Clean up the rules. And
There were plenty of places you could look where like people were like, hey, this is a great game, but there's these issues. Cool. Why don't you fix those issues?
Right.
Maybe you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Funny you say that, because they just did there was a Kickstarter for. The game was originally called All Quiet on the Martian Front, which is basically H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds set in World War One, basically.
Okay.
And I didn't back it, but I think when it does come out, I'll probably buy the rules. I have the rules, the original rules. So, and this other company bought the rights and did a Kickstarter, and it funded. But I'm curious what the rules will be like and how different they are from the original. I know the scale is different.
Yeah.
From the models.
Right.
But I'm gonna get the rule book when it comes out and then compare the two and see how much different they are. In terms of what you were saying, and like, are they gonna make it like completely different, or are they gonna just make it slightly different, or
Right.
I think sometimes they do it just to like separate themselves from the product. Just maybe maybe because they feel that the original product didn't do well because of the rules. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's just me and all the Kickstarters that I'm on. So
you are definitely our resident Kickstarter expert.
I'm waiting on, I think, 4 or 5 different Kickstarters to deliver. Now I have to look with my Kickstarter. Oh, there's one for the Three Stooges. Not a war game though. I'm waiting on. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I got that one. 3. Oh, it's not that many. 4, 5. Oh, maybe that's a lot. 6. It's a lot.
You were
But
already out a lot after like 3, dude.
but it's all like it's not like back like in the early days where I pledged like several $100s. It's only like 50. It's $50 to $100 depending what it is. So, and now it's quantity over quality. But trying to help a brother out.
Yeah.
Help them realize their dreams.
Yeah, sure.
That's how I see it. Or that's how I justify it anyway. But yeah, but other than that, yes, Gen 3 Cali. I will buy just about anything, and both John and Danny can confirm that.
Yep, it's true.
I backed a Kickstarter called Mayan Dice because it was dice but with the Mayan counting numbers on them in different dice, D6, D20s. I backed that. I backed a Aztec role-playing game, which I just got the PDF for. So I'm just waiting for the hardback. There's a couple ones I backed because I saw them at Adepticon. So yeah, like I said, if it's only like around $50, $75, then it's easier for me to back than like backing the whole like. I also backed a 6mm scale Viking Village.
Oh my God, you have a problem.
Yes, I do. So, yes, I do. But yeah, so yeah, I'll buy just about anything. Never bought War Machine though. Well, actually, I did buy War Machine, but then I returned it. But after, so it just really anything coming up is just LVO, and then for me, it's basically LVO Cherokee.
And then watching the Fallout series on Amazon.
I am watching that. I know some fans are a little hesitant.
It's not out, right?
We'll see.
No,
they've only showed production stills.
Yeah, right.
So we have to wait for the first trailer for it.
Yeah.
So I did see Napoleon. I did fall asleep.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, well, it was a
time.
nice nap, I guess.
But you gained rest.
Movie popcorn.
So.
I like movie popcorn. So.
If you were a BG3 character, you would have gained a short rest.
Yes.
Watch Napoleon and gain short rest.
So far I think I've only heard one positive reaction to seeing Napoleon, and this is out of like 10
seems not good.
Yeah. Then I did. What else did I see? I saw the Marvels, which I enjoyed. I think that was it. I don't think I've seen. I've been too busy reffing soccer, so I just ref soccer right before the show started. That's what keeps me in shape. But yeah, LVO, and then man, this right now, November, December is really my break. One of my 2 breaks. At least from traveling, not from organizing stuff. Because once the new year happens, I start traveling again. So, which is LVO, and then February's Cherokee, which I enjoy. I'm going to Rocky Mountain this year, and then there's a short break between Rocky Mountain and PAO.
Yeah. I always wanted to do Rocky Mountain, but it's so close to LVO. Can't do it.
Rocky Mountain's in March.
I mean, look, that's
You're
close.
thinking of the Cherokee. Cherokee is literally like 3 weeks after.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Rocky Mountain's in Colorado, which is the one I want to go to. Cherokee's in the south, where I do not have any inclination to go.
I like it. It was fine, at least to my face.
Look, March and January are still too close together for me for events.
Oh. Yeah. And then I got an email about Adepticon, and I'm like, I don't know if I can convince my wife to let me go back, because that's like the week after Rocky Mountain.
You judged it last year, right?
I did judge it last year. I enjoyed Adepticon for what it was or what it is, which is a convention.
Yeah.
The 40K event was fine, and we talked about this afterwards. It's just different in regards to how to judge it. So so we usually do active judging. We don't usually do. When we can, we do active judging. Adepticon, not so much. They discourage active judging at Adept. At least they did this past year. This coming year might be different because it's a new person in charge. So we'll see if they'll try to change it up and make it a bit more active judging on it. I don't know if I'm going to go yet, so we'll have to wait. I have to carefully broach that subject with the missus. But outlook does not look good. Please ask again later.
Very carefully. Send me your thoughts and prayers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, please. I'll let everyone know the episode before that happens. send their thoughts and prayers. So if I do that, that's a back-to-back week, essentially. So I'm thinking of not even coming home and going straight from Rocky Mountain to Chicago.
Yeah.
Maybe spend some time, if I can convince my wife to go, in maybe Denver.
Yeah, that would work.
That's the only way I can maybe get it get the approval. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward. To that. Like I said, Adepticon. I've already been once, and I always wanted to go, so it was a lot of fun. Gen 3 says they've already proven that I'll endorse anything. That I'll like anything. So my approval of the South is meaningless.
I mean, the food's good.
The moonshine, even though it was not actually. I mean, it was not authentic moonshine, but it was manufactured consumer moonshine. It did hit the way I thought it would hit.
Yeah, which is hard.
So, yes.
Yep.
Within like a half hour.
I've had it.
I only had one.
Yep. I've had it. I know exactly what you're referring to. Yep.
But there was an incident at I think I told you guys there was a well, I thought it was funny, but there was an incident at Cherokee the first year, which I'll tell you.
If you told us, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I did tell you guys. I know I did. There's no way I wouldn't have told you guys. I'll tell you after. But if you want to hear the story, sign up to the Patreon.
There you go, Patreons.
Our Patreon, just go to patreon.com, look up TFG Radio. We've recently started. It's either Stories with Adam or Danny's Rants, and Danny's already done 2. One on Baldur's Gate 3 not getting Game of the Year, or why it should be Game of the Year, and the second one is about game store owners. So it'll be whenever we can. I'll tell the story about Cherokee in the next one, so that will be out soon. So just sign up for the Patreon, and you'll be able to listen to that, especially as we get more stories. Because I do tell a lot of stories on this on the show, and I have told a lot of them over the years. So, but you'd have to find them. You have to go back into the catalog of almost 8 years and find the ones where I tell stories. I mean, I did tell the one about when I was naked in a motel room with a guy with a gun.
Nice.
So I'll tell that one again sooner or later.
Their safe word was carne asada.
My safe word.
That's not a very good safe word. I say carne asada all the time.
My safe word was not saying the fucking thing, so I didn't get shot.
That's a solid safe word.
Because he didn't know I was there.
Yeah, that's even better safe word. The secretive
I'll
kind.
tell that full story on the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think I will have a story. I will tell the Cherokee story on the Patreon. It's a short story, but it was funny nonetheless, to me anyway. didn't really upset me when it may have upset other people, but it's in keeping with the South, so that should give you a clue about what is somewhat what is.
Oh, I remember this one now. I remember this one.
Yes. So it didn't happen this past year, but it didn't happen that first year. But I still enjoy it. I still like the venue. The venue's a lot of fun. Probably because it's new. Everyone's nice. So make sure you sign up for the Patreon, and you get access to Danny's rants and whatever stories I come up with or that I talk about. So it's usually a lot of fun. But I think that's it for tonight. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, not really.
Approaching the end of the year, so I know Danny signed up for the new league that's just started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to pull that off, but I'll try. I don't even know what I'm going to play.
I didn't sign up, which makes it official. I have not played in the league all year this year, which I just realized.
Yeah, I didn't play in any this year either.
So maybe after the new year. I don't know. I keep saying that. Unfortunately, I think we mentioned it, but our local FLGS closed, so there's not a place for us to play, which is why we're playing at Tom's house, because Tom is not a team player, as we've already established.
It's really not.
We just come over every Tuesday, and he just happens to be there.
Yeah, with all our stuff.
With all our stuff.
And usually beer for me to drink. Definitely not a team player.
So Gen 3 wants to know, is Epic any good? He said no Epic, but I think he means new Epic.
We don't know yet.
We don't know, however, I am optimistic because from what I've seen online, there are a lot of shades of the first and second edition of Epic, which for many people is their favorite edition of Epic.
How do you have a favorite edition of something that literally hasn't been out for like 20 years?
Because there were like 5 editions of Epic.
I can't hear Adam. Can you hear Adam?
Oh, there was like 5 editions of Epic.
No.
No, you can't hear me? Or no, you just...
There you go.
Oh, that's weird.
I could hear him the whole time.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just you. It's old man John and his hearing.
Sure.
Turn up your hearing aid, John.
Yeah, I'll do that. First chance I get.
No, I said that there were, I think, 4 or 5 editions of Epic, but the later ones I think GW handled poorly in the execution when they sold them or marketed them. So a lot of people didn't like some of the newer ones. So a lot of people liked the first, especially the second edition. And the second edition gave us Titan Legions, which was the giant Mega Gargant and the super giant Titan with the cathedral on its back. So yeah, so I'm optimistic only because it's very much like I watched the battle report on Warhammer TV, and it played very much like second edition Epic 40K. So
okay,
so
it's not bad.
It's alternating activations. It's a lot different than normal I Go You Go 40K or Fantasy or any other, or the main games in GW. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Now I gotta go, once I get them, paint the little men's and the little teeny tiny big tanks.
The little men's.
The little mans. So yeah. So we'll see. I think that's it for tonight. We'll be back for one more episode in 2 weeks, and that will be the last episode of the year. We usually take a break in December until the new year, so and then we'll have an episode right before LVO. So 2 episodes before LVO, and we'll see how that goes. John, any last advice or words of wisdom?
Turn up your hearing aids.
Turn up your hearing aids. Very apt. I don't have one yet.
Especially at LVO when you ask me to come to your table so you don't have to go, what? Hot?
or turn it down if you don't want to hear. Pretend like you don't hear anything.
It's true. Choose one, but stick to it.
Oh man.
Be a man.
Danny,
Play games, be nice to each other.
don't forget to sign up for us on Patreon. And if you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe so that you can always know when we're going to be on. Usually every 2 weeks, but sometimes more, usually more, rarely less. And if you join our Patreon, you can hear stories from me and rants from Danny. Sometimes Buzz Danny, depending on the night.
Yep. Depends on the night. I mean, if I do it on a Monday, that's usually like the worst. So we'll see.
Fair enough.
Oh my God, Danny, any things you want to promote?
Oh, right.
Yes.
So, yeah, I totally forgot. I'm bad at this part. This is why I'm a failed writer. I have a new book coming out. It's going to go live March 5th, 24. But right now, pre-orders are available. It's called Jump, Rig, and Gig. You can pre-order it from Android Press, an ebook or the hard book. So it's a pretty short project. It's 3 novellas, all science fiction. The first one's basically evil sliders. So if you know the show Sliders, you know what I'm talking about. Portal fun, alternate realities, but evil. The other one is what if bioweapons were made in the shape of 80s and 90s sci-fi action franchises? So Predators, Aliens, shit like that running around. So what would it like to be an Uber driver essentially when you do that? And then the third one's kind of your classic space opera of humans being the Klingons of the galaxy and being mercenaries because we're the only ones stupid enough to constantly traumatize our brains to combat, to pilot, war machines remotely.
There we go.
So, they're all pretty fun. But yeah, if you like your sci-fi, check it out. Android Press, again, Jump, Rig, and Gig. Just to say, pre-orders really helps me maybe convince them to publish something else of mine, maybe some fantasy I'm working on, and obviously helps my algorithm get boosted. So in any case, yeah, that's it. I'll probably forget to mention it ever again, but thanks.
All right. I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube channel. And if you follow Salty John's page, he also put a link on one of his posts earlier today, right?
Yesterday?
Yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
Either way, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yesterday.
Right.
That was my phone.
There we go. Well,
that's why the OtterBox is
Buy
on.
his book so he can afford a new phone that he just broke on the floor.
Yes. Well, thank you everybody for listening and joining us tonight. If you're on YouTube or for listening if you're on the podcast, we are on the podcast. Don't forget to join us on YouTube. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like and subscribe. That always helps with the algorithms and the computers. We'll see everybody in a couple weeks. Good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
See ya.